So, how do you know, especially within the first year or so of your sync career, that you're on the right track? This is such a great question, such a tough question to answer because no matter who you are, getting started in sync licensing is a brand new path. It's a brand new experience. And so you don't really necessarily know what signs or symbols would indicate to you, give you some feedback that you're actually doing all that you possibly can and that you're working with the right company and that your music is as licensable as it possibly can be and that you're basically going at a healthy pace and you're not moving much slower than you possibly can and you're not veering off into some horrible place in the future where you're going to regret it. So this was actually a question I got via email from one of my followers, and I thought it was a great topic to put together for a YouTube video. So in this quick video, I'm going to give you guys 4 signs that you should be looking for to indicate, especially within that first year, that you're on the right track in sync licensing, okay? These are not guarantees. Of course, I want to make sure you guys got that. There are no guarantees in this business. There's no guarantees in life. But if you see these 4 things going on, and if you feel these 4 things happening in your career within the first year or so of getting into this business, then you can rest assured that you're probably doing all that you can to improve and increase your odds of turning this into some significant income for yourself. Okay, so that's the idea with this one. Number one, and this is so important, but very I think, appreciated by a lot of people, is having proper, clear communication with your library. So, so many of you are still maybe pre this stage. You're still putting together that first album you're going to submit to a library. Okay, but when you get into that library, as you're working with them, you're not going to get royalties right away. You should know that by now. 9 to 12 months it takes for those royalties to actually get generated and distributed to you, and that's after they get placed. So write off any potential of getting royalties the first year of your career here. It's just not going to be happening because the business just does not move that quickly. You can earn consideration fees, you can earn sync fees, there's other types of income you can earn, but those royalties are going to be the last thing to start trickling in. So how do you know when you don't have royalties and maybe not many placements, how do you know that you're with the right company? Well, measure them by the communication, okay? So if you email them, you call them, you text them, and they get back to you within a day or two, maybe a week if they're really busy or something like that once in a while, but it shouldn't take them more than a few days to get back to you. If you're getting those kind of quick responses, clear communication, you have a question about a contract they sent you, you have a question about, hey, what kind of clients are you guys working with now? What kind of projects are coming down the pipeline? I would like to help you guys. If they give you those clear answers, they list out references, and they're great with keeping you busy essentially, right? And getting you informed about what they're doing. The best sign of a healthy relationship moving forward you could possibly ask for, okay? You're asking them questions and it takes them 2 weeks, a month, more than a month to get back to you. You ask them questions about registration errors that pop up, which happen even from the best companies. They'll have sometimes some of your tracks won't register correctly or to the wrong person or whatever. You can name it. There's some error, right? If they come back to you with attitude, like you're bothering them on really important issues like your registrations of your tracks or a contract question, that's not a great sign. And that might be an indication you might want to think about running as fast as away as you can from a company like that and finding somebody that can give you that great communication. So great communication ensures that you have somebody that's going to be an advocate for you, that they're going to solve problems for you, and that they're really on your team. And they don't see you as just another number, right? Which some of these bigger companies can start to see composers as if they have a lot of people working with them, right? So as long as you're getting that sort of respect, then you can rest assured that you are with the right company, at least somebody that's going to really treat you professionally and give you some respect, which is a really great thing, okay? Number 2, you see any placements within the first year. Of course, you're not going to see those royalties again, but if you see any sort of activity happening with a library that you signed with within the first year of working with them, pretty good sign that you're going to have some decent stuff coming forward, okay? Now, how do you see these placements if you have to wait for those royalty checks? Well, you can use a service called TuneSat, TUNESAT.com, and you can sign up for a free account. It lets you upload up to 50 tracks, and it'll actually be monitoring cable and networks and all kinds of platforms to detect when you have placements. Actually, it's not a perfect system, so don't expect it to be perfectly scanning everything all the time, but it's good enough that if you get some significant placements in some recognizable cable or network channels, it'll find those and it'll actually show you in your account, hey, this week you got this placement. And it'll show you the track title, it'll tell you the length of it and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool technology. It only allows you to do up to 50 with a free account. If you want more, you got to obviously pay for more. So at least you could, within your first year, throw up a sort of sampling of some of the music you've had out to some of these libraries and keep an eye on that. And if you have 2 libraries you're working with, well, put 25 of one library up, put 25 of the other library up, sort of a sampling of the different styles of music and different tracks you've put out there, and see which ones start to show some placements. Now, when I say seeing some placements, what does that mean? 1 placement? Does that mean 100? I can't give you a for sure answer, but definitely if you see any placements coming in within that first year, it's a sign that you have a very active library, right? And that you're not making music that they're just saying, cool, we'll take that and we'll just shelve it over here until we need it next year or in 5 years. But if within that first year, you're seeing a little bit of action, a little bit of taste of that kind of coming in, might not be huge placements, of course, you don't expect the world right away, but just something coming your way within 1 year, really great sign that you're going to be seeing some great stuff with that library, potentially, of course. Number three, if you do start seeing some royalties, basically probably a little bit after the first year, whenever you see those first royalties come in, if you see some of the individual royalties in the $25 to $50 range, or obviously higher than that, it's a really great sign, actually. Some producers might get a royalty check and it's like they got 5 placements and it's $20, $25, $30, $45. And like, well, okay, I made a couple $100, but man, I worked for a year and a half or 2 years to get that $200. So is it really worth it? They're looking at the short run, but they're not looking at the bigger picture, which is that thousands more of those types of placements are potentially on the way if you keep doing what you're doing, supplying the library that you're working with, same kind of music, they keep feeding their clients, and those kind of placements keep piling up. My entire career and my income was based on $25 to $50 individual royalty placements, right? Now there's thousands of them on my royalty statement, but in the beginning, I remember, I don't know if many of you guys know this, my first royalty check was 14 cents, one lifetime placement for 14 cents. I was excited, but I was also feel like it was a huge slap in the face with all the work that I did. But if you start seeing your royalty placements jumping up into this larger dollar range, it's a really good sign that you're getting decent work and you're getting decent placements. Now, what if you're getting 1 cent placements and you're getting the 5 cents and the 10 cents, which there's a lot more of those actually than there are these, I would call them bigger numbers, but in the sort of $25 to $100 range, there's a lot more there in the pennies. So if you're getting a lot of those, it's not a reason to give up hope and think, oh, well, I have no chance here. But if you're working with one library and all the placements they seem to be getting you are these tiny little microscopic 1 cent, 2 cent, 5 cent things, small things, well, it could be the clients that they're working with. It could be the type of music you're producing. But if you're not seeing anything jump up into these little bit larger dollar number ranges for the individual royalty payments, then it is potentially cause for concern that you might want to rethink either the company or the type of music you're producing, or think about changing something up, because you do need to, I believe, start to get into these more premium placements. And these aren't premium. I mean, I've definitely gotten royalty checks that are individual placements that were over, $1,000, $1,500. So you can definitely get much higher. And there's ones that are even higher than that. But you definitely want to get this kind of healthy place where you're seeing at least whole dollar amounts for a lot of your royalty placements. So that's something to definitely look at and to know you're on the right track. And last but not least, this is definitely more just like a gut feeling. If you feel that the momentum of your career is at your back, right? Like you feel like it's still a challenge, you're still working hard, nothing's like super easy, but you feel like you're building, like you feel like I'm putting out placements, I'm putting out more music and I'm seeing some placements, I'm getting great communication and I'm learning more and I'm developing. There's a feeling that I found that successful producers have early on in their career, that ones that are just, I feel like I'm getting slapped in the face all the time. This company is not getting me placements. This is not happening. This is not happening. And you just constantly feel like it's always a struggle. Like you're always just pushing that boulder up this massively steep hill, and you can't feel it, just can't feel like you're getting ahead at all. And it just always feels like it's crushing and bearing down on you. Definitely a sign to step out of your world for a little bit and think about your strategy here and whether or not even sync licensing is something you want to continue doing. But it also could be just that you are working with the wrong companies, the wrong kinds of libraries, you're submitting the wrong types of music to them, or maybe your music really needs to step up in quality and you've been submitting not your best effort actually to a lot of these companies. That can happen. It's certainly what I did after a while. Is I got lazy. I just started sending whatever, hey, that's good enough. I definitely I'm guilty of that. So sometimes we have to back out of, our sort of 9 to 5 sort of cycle that we get stuck in, or kind of a loop we get into, even with creating music, and really think about what we're doing here. Because we should feel some level of excitement that we're building towards some future, career here with this business. So if you feel that, it's a great sign you're doing good things, even if you're not even with a library yet. But if you just feel that sort of a positive energy moving forward, that's definitely what's going to help you carry forward into this business. If you don't feel it, again, a couple of bigger questions you might want to think about what you're doing in this business and with your career. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope this helps you get some sort of confidence and clarity on whether or not you're on the right track in this business.